A Ben Sherman Oxford shirt costs £35. A Thomas Pink Oxford shirt costs £125. Both use 100% cotton. Both are button-down collars. Both will be on your body at the Tuesday morning meeting while nobody in the room can tell them apart. The British High Street has been hiding clothing goldmines in plain sight for decades. Brands with 60-year heritage, proprietary fabrics invented on rescued knitting machines, technical waterproofing developed in Manchester that matches gear costing 3 times as much, and cotton sourced to the same standards as designer labels. 9 brands, all currently available in the UK. All being walked past every day by people spending double and triple the price for a name. By the end of this, you will not make that mistake again. And stick around for number 1 because it is the biggest bargain in Britain right now and almost nobody is talking about it. Before we start, here is the one test that cuts through everything. Turn any garment inside out and look at the seams. Premium construction runs 8 to 12 stitches per inch. Budget construction runs 5 to 7. That single check done in the shop before you spend a penny will tell you more about how long a garment will actually last than any price tag or brand name ever will. Keep it in mind for everything that follows. Brand 9. George at Asda. Good, but not exactly exciting. Here is the brand that most people either dismiss entirely or have never thought to look at carefully. That is a mistake worth correcting. Imagine you are buying school uniforms for 2 children in September. You walk into Asda, grab the George basics out of habit and spend £30. Your neighbour buys the same items in an M&S or Next branded bag and spends £60. In January, both sets of shirts and trousers look essentially identical. The stitching held. The cotton did not pill. The knees did not blow out in October. George at Asda is the 2nd largest clothing retailer in the United Kingdom by volume. Not the 2nd largest supermarket clothing brand. The 2nd largest clothing retailer ahead of many names people treat as serious fashion. That statistic is sitting in a supermarket aisle and almost nobody is engaging with it. George's cotton sourcing by 2025 is more formally structured than most people assume. Over 85% of its cotton runs through the Better Cotton Initiative, the same certification framework used by M&S, H&M and IKEA at their scale. George was also the first major UK supermarket retailer to commit to recycled polyester across its range and to publish its 2nd-tier supplier factory list, the factories responsible for dyeing, printing and finishing alongside its Tier 1 garment factories. That level of supply chain transparency is not standard practice even among brands charging considerably more. The construction reality is where George surprises people most. The linen and cotton separates in both the men's and women's ranges have been described repeatedly by independent buyers as looking considerably more expensive than they cost. The core denim runs competitive stitch counts with mid-market alternatives at twice the price. What George cannot deliver is the aspirational experience of buying it. There is no branded shopping bag. Nobody posts the haul. The garment itself is frequently identical in construction and cotton quality to something sitting in a branded environment elsewhere. The price reflects where it is sold, not what it is. Available in over 500 Asda stores and at george.com. T-shirts from around £5. Jeans from around £18. The next one has been sitting in outdoor shops and countryside retail for over 30 years. Most people walk past it on the way to the North Face rack. That walk is costing them money. Brand 8. Regatta. Picture this. It is October. You're in an outdoor shop comparing waterproof jackets. There is a North Face shell at £280 with a 10,000mm waterproof rating. 3 racks along is a Regatta jacket at £65 with a 10,000mm waterproof rating. Most people assume the North Face is better and reach for it without comparing further. This brand was founded in Manchester in 1977. Became a dedicated outdoor clothing company in 1982. And in 1987 won Which? Magazine's Best Waterproof Jacket Award. The brand that won that award is still there, still at a fraction of the price of the brands that entered the category after it. The engineering language of Regatta's products is the same language used by brands, charging 4 times the price. Their Isotex waterproof rating starts at 5,000mm hydrostatic head and reaches 30,000mm on technical models. For context, a 10,000mm rating handles heavy rain. Their higher-end technical jackets exceed it by a factor of 3, at prices between £60 and £120. The Hydrofort and Isotex fabric systems they developed in-house are proprietary technologies, not marketing names for standard polyester. The taped seams on their waterproof range are the same construction used across the entire technical outdoor category, regardless of price tier. The reason the gap exists is not a construction difference. It is a marketing difference. Regatta does not run celebrity ambassador campaigns or sponsor professional athletes. They run advertising aimed at walkers, dog owners, and families who need the jacket to actually work on a Thursday morning in October. And here is something most people do not realize. Regatta also owns Craghoppers, a separate brand positioned at a higher price point within the same group. Understanding that both brands share a parent company, a supply infrastructure, and overlapping technical standards is useful context when comparing them side by side on a rack. Available at regatta.com, Blacks, Sports Direct, and most major UK department stores. Jackets from around £35. Before we get to number 7, here is what this list is really about. The brands ahead of these two are not just better value on price. They are products built around a genuinely different idea, a proprietary fabric invented from scratch, a 60-year construction standard that has never changed, a sweatshirt that has been produced on the same machine since 1993 and still outsells everything around it. Wait until you see number 1. Brand 7. Weird Fish. This is the one that genuinely surprised me, and once you understand what the macaroni fabric actually is, you will understand why. In 1993, the founders of what would become Weird Fish discovered a collection of old circular knitting machines sitting unused in a Cornish warehouse. Most businesses would have scrapped them. Instead, they brought them back to life, developed a slow-spun triple twist yarn that came out looking like its namesake pasta, and called the fabric macaroni. That sweatshirt produced on those rescued machines launched in 1994. It is still in production today, it is still the brand's best-selling product. And it is the most durable casual sweatshirt at its price point that most British shoppers have never tried. The construction reason matters. Triple twist yarn creates a denser, more interlocked fabric structure than standard jersey. The threads support each other in 3 directions simultaneously rather than 2, which is why macaroni sweatshirts hold their shape and texture across dozens of washes where standard sweatshirts would have pilled and softened beyond recognition. Reviewers who have owned the same macaroni piece for 5, 7, and 10 years describe it becoming more comfortable with each wash rather than degrading. The Ecomac version launched in 2025 updates the recipe to organic cotton and recycled polyester, eliminating the fossil fuel input from the original formula without changing the triple twist structure that makes the fabric perform the way it does. Weird Fish reported surging profits and sales in 2025 and is currently targeting an estate of 80 to 90 stores across the UK. For a brand most people have never consciously registered, it is quietly growing into one of the most commercially successful independent clothing companies in Britain. The artist t-shirt range in organic cotton runs at around £28. The macaroni 1/4 zip sits at around £65. Both are built to a construction standard the price does not imply. Available at weirdfish.co.uk. Next, John Lewis and independent retailers across the UK. Brand 6. Ben Sherman walk into a department store with £125. Most people will walk out with a Thomas Pink Oxford shirt. This is what the same money actually buys you if you know where to look. Arthur Sugarman grew up in Brighton, moved to America in his 20s, and came back with the knowledge of how Ivy League button-down shirts were constructed. In 1963, he changed his name to Ben Sherman, opened a small factory in Brighton, and produced a slim-fitted Oxford cloth shirt that nobody in Britain had seen before. The mod movement adopted it immediately. The Who wore it, Oasis wore it, Team GB wore it at the Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024 Olympic opening ceremonies. That is not a brand manufacturing heritage. That is heritage that built itself across 60 continuous years. The flagship Brighton Oxford today is made from 100% organic cotton, long staple yarn specifically, which provides more consistent colour and durability across washes than short staple cotton. The placket, pocket and outer back yoke are cut on the bias of the fabric, a construction technique requiring more material and more skill than straight cutting, producing a shirt that drapes and moves differently from anything built by cutting along the grain. A reviewer who has handled shirts at every price point, including ultra-luxury brands charging hundreds of pounds, described the Brighton Oxford as feeling as properly sewn and constructed as any Oxford he had ever put on. The Harrington jacket at around £90 uses a lightweight cotton twill with the brand's signature house gingham lining, a detail carried from the 1960s originals. It has been compared directly against Barracuda, the jacket's original manufacturer, at nearly twice the price. The construction difference does not justify that gap. The name difference does. Available at bensherman.co.uk and John Lewis. The Brighton Oxford starts at around £35. Almost nobody knows about this next one. It has been doing something quietly extraordinary for over 140 years, and most British shoppers only notice it on the way to buy food. Brand 5, Marks and Spencer. Most people formed an opinion of M&S clothing somewhere around 1995 and have never updated it. That assumption is doing them a financial disservice that compounds every season. Here is the test. Stand in the M&S menswear section, pick up an autographed shirt and read the fabric content. You are looking for two words: Supima cotton. Supima is a trademark designation for American-grown extra-long staple cotton, accounting for less than 1% of global cotton production. It is the same fibre grade that appears in Charles Tyrwhitt's shirts at £59 and premium heritage tailoring at considerably more. An M&S autograph shirt in Supima cotton retails at around £35. The fabric source is identical. The construction is assessed by independent fashion buyers as meeting a standard equivalent to mid-premium tailoring. M&S achieved 100% responsible cotton sourcing for clothing in 2019, years ahead of brands still running campaigns around that commitment in 2025. The Better Cotton, Organic Cotton, and Recycled Cotton certifications cover the full clothing range, not a sustainability subline with premium pricing. The AW25 menswear range introduced selvage denim and expanded leather and suede options and received the brand's best ever value perception scores in menswear from YouGov research published in September 2025. The director of menswear described a deliberate strategy of sharpening opening price points while raising fabric and finish standards simultaneously. The rule here is specific. The autograph line in natural fibres is where the construction investment is concentrated. The standard and collection lines vary. Read the fabric content before buying and apply the stitch count test inside the seam. When both pass, you are holding a product that competes with things costing 2 to 3 times as much in a department store 3 minutes away. Available in M&S stores and at marksandspencer.com. Autograph shirts from around £35. This is where things get really interesting. The next two brands on this list are doing something the brands above them are not. They are not just offering comparable quality at a lower price. They are offering something the premium brands genuinely cannot replicate. Keep watching. Brand 4, Crew Clothing. Picture a Breton stripe top. You can buy one from St. James in France for around £80. You can buy one from Crew Clothing in Devon for around £35. Most people who have worn both cannot tell which was which after 6 months of regular wear. Crew Clothing was founded in 1993 in Salcombe, Devon, by Alistair Parker Swift, who was running a windsurfing school and sourced a few rugby shirts he could not find elsewhere. The crossed oar logo on a navy background became the visual language of a coastal British casual wear brand that now has over 100 stores across the UK and a following particularly strong in the sailing and countryside communities. The flagship PK polo shirt at around £45 is compared favourably by independent buyers against Ralph Lauren polo at £90 and the cost at £85 in blind construction tests. The crossed oar logo is embroidered rather than printed, and that detail is more significant than it sounds. Printed logos begin cracking within 6 to 12 washes. Embroidered branding does not degrade in the same way, meaning the garment continues to look presentable after dozens of cycles, where a printed equivalent would already be showing age. The knitwear, particularly the zip neck merino and cotton blend jumpers, is where Crew most consistently outperforms its price bracket. The ribbing on the cuffs and collar maintains its structure across repeated washing in a way that cheaper knitwear loses within a season. Here is the thing most regular Crew customers know that nobody else does. Crew runs end-of-season sales, reducing core products by 30 to 50%. The people who buy at full price and then return the following January for the sale pieces are getting construction that competes with premium British casual wear at prices that make it feel almost implausible. Available at crewclothing.co.uk and John Lewis. Polo shirts from around £45. Brand 3, Weird Fish. Wait, this brand already appeared at number 7. That was not a mistake. Weird Fish appears twice on this list because it does two entirely different things well enough to deserve separate recognition. Number 7 was about the macaroni fabric and casual wear construction. Number 3 is about something different, the waterproof technical outerwear range that most people who only know the sweatshirts have never looked at. The Charles & Aubry shower-resistant jacket lines use technical fabric construction with taped seams and DWR coating at prices between £60 and £90. Independent reviewers who tested them against regatta and craghoppers equivalents in wet conditions found comparable performance at a comparable price, with the Weird Fish construction distinguished primarily by the organic cotton shell fabric used in some models rather than synthetic alternatives. For shoppers who want weather protection without synthetic shell material against their skin, Weird Fish is one of the only brands in this price category offering a cotton-based technical outer. The brand's surging 2025 performance reflects a company that has found a specific customer who values construction over branding and durability over season-by-season trend cycles. Retail Week's October 2025 profile confirmed the brand targeting 80 to 90 stores across the UK while maintaining independent ownership. 2 entries on one list, both justified for different reasons. Available at weirdfish.co.uk and Next. Technical jackets from around £65. The last 2 on this list are genuinely in a different category. One changed how I think about buying outdoor kit entirely, and the number 1 is the biggest single quality to price gap in British clothing retail right now. Do not skip ahead. Brand 2, Rab. 2 people standing at the summit of Helvellyn in November. One is wearing an Arc'teryx Atom insulated jacket that costs £350. The other is wearing a Rab Microlight Alpine that costs £260. Both are warm. Both are blocking the wind. Both are performing at a technical level appropriate to the conditions. The only difference sitting between those 2 people is £90 and a label. This brand genuinely shocked me when I looked at the numbers. Rab Carrington made the first sleeping bag to bear his name in the attic of a small terraced house in Sheffield in 1981. He was a climber who needed gear that did not exist at a price working mountaineers could afford. That founding logic is still the operating logic of the brand today. The Rab Microlight Alpine down jacket uses 750 fill power European down in a Pertex Quantum shell, performing at a technical specification that matches Arc'teryx and Patagonia product at prices consistently 30 to 40% lower. What has changed in recent years is cultural rather than technical. The same insulated jacket designed for Scottish ridge conditions has become a commuting and everyday layer for people in British cities who notice that a Rab Microlight at £260 is warmer, more packable and more technically constructed than a padded jacket from a fashion house at £350 with no specification information on the label at all. Rab publishes fill power, waterproof membrane specification and fabric weight for every product. Most fashion brands do not. That transparency is itself a signal about what the brand considers important. The stitch count test is irrelevant for technical outerwear because seams are taped rather than simply stitched. What to check instead is the fill power rating on any down product. 700 and above indicates genuine performance insulation, and the shell fabric specification on any waterproof. Rab lists both clearly. Available at rab.equipment, Cotswold Outdoor, Snow and Rock, and outdoor specialists across the UK. Insulated jackets from around £150. Brand 1, Regatta. Dare to be. Here it is, the biggest bargain in Britain. And the reason it qualifies as a separate entry from the Regatta already covered is that most people do not know these are the same company. In the year 2000, Regatta Group launched a ski and performance activewear sub-brand called Dare 2B. The same Manchester-based family business that produces the £65 waterproof jacket at Brand 8 built a performance sports and ski clothing line that competes directly with Helly Hansen and Salomon at prices between 40 and 60% lower. A Dare 2B ski jacket with 15,000mm waterproofing, taped seams, and snow skirt hem retails at around £80 to £130. An equivalent Helly Hansen jacket performing at the same technical specification costs between £200 and £350. The reason more people are not talking about this is that Dare 2B is primarily stocked at Sports Direct, ski rental shops, and online, rather than in the aspirational outdoor retail environments where most consumers form their impressions of performance clothing brands. The visual presentation is not the presentation of Arc'teryx or Salomon. But when the jacket is on your body on a chairlift in January or on a Snowdonia ridge in February, the specification it was built to is the only thing that matters. The Regatta Group acquired Craghoppers in 1995 and launched Dare 2B in 2000, building a multi-brand outdoor portfolio from its Manchester base that most British consumers have never connected to a single family business. Understanding that Regatta, Craghoppers and Dare 2B share design infrastructure, supply relationships, and technical development capability explains why Dare 2B is able to deliver ski-grade performance at a price most people associate with casual outdoor brands. It is not a coincidence. It is the same engineering under a different logo built for a different customer. If you ski, snowboard, or spend serious time in winter conditions, Dare 2B is the single most significant piece of information on this entire list. Available at dare2b.com, Sports Direct, and ski retailers across the UK. Performance ski jackets from around £80. 9 brands. The biggest clothing retailer most people treat as an afterthought. A proprietary fabric invented on rescued Cornish knitting machines in 1993. A 60-year Oxford shirt construction at a third of premium tailoring prices. M&S autograph Supima cotton sitting in the same fibre grade as Thomas Pink at nearly half the price. Crew clothing embroidered construction that outlasts its price bracket by years. Rabs Expedition grade down insulation at 40% below Arc'teryx. And Dare 2B ski performance at half the price of Helly Hansen, built by the same Manchester family that has been doing this since 1977. The garments have been there the whole time. The seams, the fabric content, the stitch count, all of it readable in the shop before you spend £1. The fashion industry does not want you reading labels. It wants you reading logos. Now you know the difference.